You still get them, but they are very retro. And whenever I saw one, I had this mixture of excitement, anticipation, and disappointment quite quickly. And that is when the circus was in town. Oh, they've got an elephant.
Yeah.
And there was always something slightly disappointing about the circus, I found. The clowns weren't funny. The elephant looked very sad. The juggler was all right. If there were dancing girls, that was good too. But the smell of sawdust, of course. And the very average band, always. The trestle seats that you sat on around in the big top.
Yeah.
And the first circus I ever went to see, I was quite young. They did have animals, just one lot of animals. And they were geese. 3 geese that were trained to do things like go up this little tiny seesaw, go up it, get to the middle, and the seesaw would go down the other way, and the geese would go off it. And I just couldn't see the point. Trapeze artists, yes, but we tended not to get them in the circuses that came to Feltham. I do remember seeing the elephant being transported from the railway sidings to the public land where the circus was erecting its tent. And it's one of the saddest looking things I've ever seen. This elephant with 2 massive iron anklets.
Leg irons.
Just above its toes. And a 3-foot chain holding it together. And I swear this elephant looked at me and said, help, please, help. And yet I had to pretend I was excited. And if the fairground came to the public land, that was great. Dodgems and you know, helter-skelters and all sorts of exciting things. But I always found the circus, I'm glad they're more or less gone, although we still do get a Moscow State Circus come to Chichester.
What do they do, though?
What
I
do
mean,
they
I've not been. I wouldn't hazard a guess as to what goes on in that tent.
If there's one sort of entertainment that is possibly the very worst form of entertainment I have ever seen, and I've seen some bad stuff, sometimes I can't help but click on the television and it's the Cirque du Soleil.
Never got it.
Get out of town.
Never understood it.
Get out of town. Oh. You know, we should be praising things that we remember as being wonderful memories, but I'm quite happy that the circus is no more. Did you get circuses coming into, you know, real sort of central East End of London, Hayley?
Yeah, I remember seeing like posters on lampposts and stuff. That were kind of, again, the Moscow State Circus rings a bell. It was like a travelling circus, I think, wasn't it? Because it would say only for 2 nights only type thing. And the giant tent, like the striped tent, would appear seemingly overnight, wouldn't it? It was like in a random muddy field somewhere or supermarket, car park or something. And I remember when you drove past or walked past and you saw it go up, it was like that was enough to make your whole entire week exciting, I think, because it was just, oh, that's what we're going to do at the weekend. But I do, Tommy, what you were saying, it was like a mixture of excitement but also slight fear of what you were going to see. So it was, I remember like the smell of damp grass. Because depending on the time of the year, not necessarily summer, you'd walk in and be sitting on a wet bench or something to watch it, right? But I do remember candy floss, and I remember getting kind of excited about the sweets beforehand. And the ringmaster, they felt like they were quite important, and you kind of stood up and listened to them, didn't you? Or you put your back straight and were like, right, they're here. Something's going to happen now. But I do remember it felt slightly dangerous because I don't think there was like health and safety like we do on these days. So the people that were doing the trapeze or the tightrope walking, I think even as a adolescent, you kind of felt like one step wrong and that person could probably break their neck or something. Like, had that been tested, I'm not sure. Clowns, I was always a little bit scared of clowns as I was growing up.
Quite right.
So they were absolutely terrifying if you thought they were, or they could be the funniest thing you've seen in your life. But I think there was kind of a love-hate relationship with the clowns situation. And there was always one exhausted parent that I had that just hated going because they'd have to hold all the coats have all the bags with them, and inevitably end up with some big toy that you won on the fairground, like right as you walked in, that they'd have to carry this big fluffy toy that you won around for the whole evening. You know, that you're always excited winning it, but it was always your parent that had to like slap it around all evening, wasn't it, really? But yeah, no, I do remember it being a joy and a lovely thing. But I do remember seeing those kind of caged animals, even as a young kid, thinking, I don't know if I feel kind of comfortable or thrown off by that.
I'm trying to get to grips with this idea of an elephant in Feltham.
Yeah.
I think that's really sad.
It was.
Goldfish. Goldfish.
Goldfish.
Oh,
Goldfish. If it wasn't a big cuddly bear
Yes.
of 3 foot in height, you could win a goldfish, couldn't you?
plastic bag.
In a plastic bag with water.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get it home and you'd have to put it in a saucepan because you didn't have a goldfish bowl.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have a goldfish bowl because they're cruel, but we did.
Yeah. Goldfish. Win a goldfish. Why do I want a goldfish? Win a goldfish.
I don't think I ever won a goldfish. I remember winning a cuddly toy, but not a goldfish.
Well, this is a short
Wasn't
step
so
away,
lucky.
isn't it, from fun fairs and circuses to kind of like theme parks in a seaside resort somewhere.
Wow.
Littlehampton. Littlehampton had Smart's Amusements. Still there now.
Still there now.
I think it's called Harbour Park.
It is.
And I remember, because I didn't live too far away from Littlehampton, they had a very mini roller coaster on the roof. They used to go around the outside and have some dips in it. And it used to be quite quaint. And I'm thinking, is it Adventure Island in Southend? That's the big one there. I was there last year for reasons I won't bore you with. And that's a kind of like, that's a theme park just at the start of the pier. There's one is there one in Margate? You'll know this, Hales. You must have
Yeah,
gone down.
Dreamland. I was
Dreamland,
just about
that's
to
it.
jump in and say Dreamland was honestly a icon to the day. I actually went there a couple of years ago because it's still open, hardly open to be honest. It's a tiny fragment of what it used to be. But yeah, Dreamland when I was younger, I went every year, probably twice or 3 times every summer holidays.
I used to quite like those. I mean, I know there's, depending on where you're listening to this, you got oh blimey, you got, what's that big one off the M6 up near Stoke? It'll come to me.
Alton Towers, I think.
Alton Towers, that's it. But you've also got Chessington Wilder Adventures in Surrey. You've also got Thorpe Park and stuff like that. But I used to have a soft spot for those ever so slightly faded, antiquated amusement parks somewhere on a seaside resort on the coast.
Tell you what's jumped into my mind, enjoying your reminiscences about fairs and what have you. Is school. What do we think? Hayley, I'm going to ask you first. Put you on the spot. What did you think of your school fêtes?
Oh, I'm not sure we really had one. I don't think I went to a
What?
school that was either big enough or posh enough to have a school
You didn't have to
fete.
be posh to have a fete.
Well, we had a sports day. Is that kind of close
No,
enough?
that's
Or
quite separate, but around about the same point in the calendar. So you'd have the sports day around about on Friday, and then Saturday week that will be the school fete because they're raising. I got asked once to open a school fete. I had to drive 180 miles to get there.
Yeah.
And when I got there, I introduced myself to the organiser, and she said, "Oh well, you're early. That's very inconvenient. Go into that tent and stay there. Don't come out. I don't want people to see you." So I stood in this tent for about an hour, and then she got up and she got the microphone and she said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin proceedings. Will you welcome, please, the man who is going to declare our fate open, Mick Robertson."
brilliant.
Yeah. So I cut my hand over the microphone and I just went, "It's Tommy." And she snatched the microphone back off me and she went, "I'm sorry, it's Tommy Robinson."
Oh God, that's really bad.
And I said, at one point, I said, "Well, what are we raising money for?" Because it was usually for a good cause, wasn't it? And do you know what they were raising money for?
Go on.
An electric set of motorised school curtains for the school theatre.
Blimey.
It couldn't be further from charity or need,
Yeah.
you know, if it tried.
I've got 2 school fete stories. Do you want to hear them? Yeah. One is I opened a fete
Yes.
as well when I was a very minor local radio personality. I got asked to open a school fete in Barnum. which is a village. Wow, it's a village somewhere between Chichester and Bognor Regis. So that's obviously on my list of achievements in life.
Isn't that what the David Essex musical was about, Barnum? Or am I thinking of a different Barnum?
No.
Is that a
That
different
mistake has been made in real life more than once.
Was the musical about this place or just something completely different?
I'll just detain you. I'm sure I
I don't
told you
know.
this
I'm
before.
genuinely
My
curious.
next door neighbour had some visitors coming over from Canada, and I asked what she was going to do with them, and she said she was going to take them to see Barnum. And I didn't know that Barnum the musical was on at the Chichester Festival Theatre, so I raised my eyebrows and just went, Barnum? She said, yes, they haven't seen it. And I was about to say, but there's a fish and chip shop and a hardware shop and a railway siding. But I didn't. I said, how are you going to get there? And she said, we're going to walk. Barnum is about 3 hours by foot from where we lived. And that was when it gradually began to dawn on me. It was a genuine Terry and June moment, if you ever remember that sitcom. But sorry, Duncan,
No.
you were opening a fete in Barnum.
I know, I'm just saying that's what I did. That's Fate story number one. But Hales, no, it's not. David Essex or whoever did not write a play or a musical about this Barnum. And story number two is when I was when my kid was at her school, I used to always get roped in on school fete days, and I either did the emceeing on the microphone because they went, "Oh, you're very good with a microphone. Can you MC?" And I said, "Well, I can, but you run out of things to talk about after a while. There's only so many ways you can make the tombola interesting before pressing play on the Britney Spears CD. And if I wasn't emceeing, I used to run the maggot racing.
No.
Maggot racing.
No.
Yeah, maggot racing.
How do you do it? Put them all in the middle and the first one to get the...
Oh, you put them all at the end, and you basically
How do you lure them in the required direction?
Well, you don't. They just they move by themselves. There's no incentive for them to go anywhere. They just are stuck in a very small kind of almost like a trench. And hopefully, if you backed maggot number 6, she decides. What sex are maggots?
They. Stick with they.
They
It's
decide.
2026.
They
everything's there.
decide which direction to go in. So we used to do maggot racing.
Right. How did you stick the numbers on their sides?
We didn't put numbers on their sides. They were in little kind of like tracks, 1 till 10.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Because some fishermen paint their maggots.
Do they?
They do. I don't know what advantage they think they get. And other fishermen keep the next maggot in their mouth.
Oh, my God.
Yes, to warm
Oh,
it
that's
up.
disgusting.
You see, so that when it's on the hook, it wriggles.
Oh.
I know. Maggot stories.
Oh, I remember
on, shall we?
once.
I don't have any maggot stories, I'm
I
afraid.
once came across a carcass of a fox when I was walking on the South Downs once, and it had been there clearly probably over 10 days, and there were all maggots all over it. Oh, even to think about it now is quite sickening. Let's move on.
Yes, let's go back to the school fete. I went to what was at the time a posh grammar school, and in my first year there, one of the dads had an accountant who was also the accountant to a little wiry world heavyweight, not heavyweight, a world boxing champion. I think his name was Terry Spinks.
Oh, I know him.
Do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was a boxer.
Yeah, little guy.
Yeah, he used to have the pub
Yes.
on the A27
Yeah.
between Arundel and Worthing,
Yeah.
which I think was the Coach and Horses. It's still there. Terry Spinks.
Yes, I've got the wrong bloke. It was Terry Downs.
Oh.
He was another boxer.
Right.
All right.
Well, just to finish the Terry Spinks
Early
story,
onset.
very quickly, he was a boxer. After he boxed, he became a London black cab driver, and then he bought this pub on the south coast. This would have been in the 1980s. He had it.
Well,
Small guy.
This was the 60s, and it was
Yeah.
Terry Downs.
Yeah.
And he had the usual sort of squashed nose, and he arrived in a Rolls Royce to open the fete as a favour. And he said this on the microphone, as everybody, oh, that's Terry Downs, Terry Downs. He's the one who beat that Mexican. And he said, well, I've had a look around. I'll do the voice. I've had a look around, and I had to go at the store where you've got to get a ball into a hole. And the ball was bigger than the bleeding hole. I was standing right next to our headmaster, who was Sir Percival Barry. M.A. Oxon Cantab, very old school, very old-fashioned. And he just turned away and he had this smile on his face of kind of good for him, but at the same time, I don't want to catch the boys using that kind of language. It wasn't the right thing to do. But it was a moment I'll never forget, when somebody said the word bleeding in that fashion in front of our headmaster. And it was quite a moment. No, school fates, again, they're always disappointing, aren't they? The celebrities disappointing. I mean, not in your case, Duncan, or indeed mine. But
I think I had no idea why I got asked to do it. And it was just like, hello, I now declare this fate open. Bye. You have to spend money as well.
You do.
Have to spend money.
You've got to go on every stall.
You've got to go on every stall. You have to buy
stall.
raffle tickets, and you've got to eat all of the cake that people say, I thought you might like a bit of cake.
Yeah, oil paintings of vases of flowers that have been done by somebody's dinner lady mum. Yeah.
Oh, a tombola. Do you remember tombolas? I do. So I have vague. Oh my God! It's just when you said raffle, I imagined a tombola. So maybe I did have a school fate. I just don't remember them as clearly as you guys. But I do remember a tombola and a stick the tail on the donkey or something.
In the tail.
Oh, it's all coming back to me now.
I used to enjoy the teachers being in the stocks. And you could throw wet sponges at them.
Absolutely.
That was a bit of a money raiser.
Yes.
And I also, even to this day, because we're lucky, we live in part of England, the southeast, there's lots of little villages that time has kind of forgotten a little bit, and they still have quite old-fashioned summer fetes and whatnot. I love smashing the crockery. You familiar with this, Hayley? No?
No.
So you would have...
Is it a Greek thing?
No, well, it could be a Greek thing. But what would happen is you'd have like almost like an old dresser or maybe some kind of put up shelves, and you'd have loads of crockery on there, plates and mugs and all kind of stuff that you get from jumble sales, or there might be a company nearby that made plates that would give you some ones that were defected or whatever. And you'd have 3 wooden balls or tennis balls, and you used to pay 50p to smash, to chuck your balls and try and smash as many plates as possible. I find that massively cathartic.
Absolutely. So
and face painting.
Face painting.
Face painting.
And if
I
it's
remember I was so excited about that as a child. I'd always want to be a donkey, or not donkey, a rabbit or something. Have a little nose with whiskers. Yeah.
So I'd seen this attraction at a fete somewhere on Pathé News or something, and it looked so good, I decided that when they were doing a fundraising fete at our local hospital, I would set one of these up. And what I needed was my cricket net, because being a cricket fan, I used to have a cricket net in the garden, which was about 30 yards long and about 6 foot high. And what you do is you set that up, okay, and then you hire a top hat and tails outfit, and you walk the other side of the net, and there's a line which the boys have to, because it's all boys, have to stand behind with their 3 tennis balls and try to knock the top hat off the toff. And I played the toff, and I loved it. The hat never recovered. I had to buy it because it was in pieces. But the queue went round the block. It really touched and hit the spot for so many people. The idea of being able to knock a toff's top hat off with a tennis ball. And I did the whole thing in the air of David Niven. I pulled my chin in and stuck my nose up in the air. Yeah. And if ever anybody hit the top hat, well, it happened quite a lot, then I would act, indignant. Yeah. And it was great fun. I absolutely loved it.
I like the food at school fetes. I've been to a couple where they have a hog roast.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's particularly posh. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. Love a hog roast.
They do hog roasts at race courses often, and jumps courses. Not at flat courses, too posh, but at jumps courses.
Yeah, Fonwell.
Fonwell. Yeah. Jumps racing, racing in general, is not very good at dealing with what they call family days. All they do is face painting and bouncy castles.
It's pretty limited.
And that is meant to entertain all the 6-year-olds who don't know what's going on.
No.
For 6 races, about 4 hours. Very poor.
Oh. Have we spoken about dog racing before? You've just mentioned racing and greyhound racing came into my head because that was like one of my favourite things to do. I always got excited. Just as I sort of became a teenager, one of the nights out that I actually enjoyed going to with my parents was a dog racing night. I think it was in Catford we went to. I doubt it's there anymore.
Dog track.
I think you're right.
Yeah. And I remember getting all dressed up and then we'd have dinner before. They had like a suite where you could have dinner before, put your bets on, and then after dinner you'd go and watch the races from like a balcony or a tiered area. And then, you'd like shout for the horses and everyone would get very emotional and, it got very exciting.
Well, we got the Brighton and Hove dog track, haven't we?
We do.
In our part of the world, which is still there. I had one of my best nights ever there.
In that,
Well, it's just like beer, chicken in a basket.
you sit at the table and they they come round and take your bets.
No, we went literally down by the racetrack.
Right.
And it's just like chicken in a basket, a couple of pints of Guinness, watch the dogs racing.
So does that still exist? Because I'm really honest here when I say I'm going to add that to my bucket list for the summer because it brings such good memories back.
It does exist, though. I think it's either Scotland or Wales is now being banned, greyhound racing, and there's a lot of pressure from some politicians to implement a ban in England. But there are
so I
places
better
you
get
can.
going,
I'll
you're saying,
crack on with it.
really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dog racing.
Yeah, you want to go 1, 2, and 6, or 1, 5, and 6.
Well, someone told me it's always worth putting money on the dog that's just had a poo before the race. I don't know if that's true.
How would you know? How would you know?
Because you can see them having a dump before they get put in the traps.
Works for me.
Well, exactly.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
theoretically, you're less weight, so you'd be
know.
heavier, less heavy.
I was playing a Sunday morning football game once, and John Richardson came running out of the changing room, and he went, "The bogs are locked. How am I going to play football with 2 pounds of you-know-what in my stomach?" It's a good comment, isn't it? I was talking to a professional gambler once in Birmingham, and I said, "Do you ever do the dogs?" And he went, "Nah, I don't do dogs. It's all fixed." I said, "Really? How do they fix it?" He said, "Well, it's the handlers putting them in the box, putting them in the starting boxes." He said, "They get the signal from somebody over by the bookies, that they want number 5 not to win. And they just give his nuts a little squeeze as they're putting him in the box."
Oh,
I know. He
my
said, "There's
gosh.
other dodges." He said, "You can chuck a handful of drawing pins in there."
oh,
He said, "Or if you really want to go to town, you can wrap a elastic band round a willy."
no. Well, that would stop me running.
I was going to say, it works for me as well.
Yeah, I think it needs to go on your bucket list, Hayley.
It does, but I've just been Googling it, and you're right. There are protesters as recently as last week calling for the closure of the Sussex Greyhound Stadium. So apparently there was campaigners outside last weekend. They're calling for the racecourse to be shut and for the activity to be banned nationally amid fears of animal safety.
What's your
So
Google
maybe
say
the-
about Scotland and Wales? Because I don't want to be responsible for duff information.
I was just,
one of those places.
Well, I
where
was just
it's-
looking
again,
for
yeah.
Brighton because that's
Today.
a bit closer for me. Greyhound racing is completely banned in Scotland. Let me have a look for Wales. Hold the line for me, caller. Oh no, it does. Wales still has one remaining greyhound racing track, Valley Greyhounds, located in Caerphilly.
Carfilly.
Carefully.
Yes, it's still going just about.
Did the Baron Knights ever do Chaz and Dave?
What, literally?
That would have been difficult.
Or in the car park afterwards?
I
What are you
bet them
talking
that.
about?
Well, because there was a song
Yeah,
that
what kind
always
of done?
comes into my mind when people mention Catford, and somebody did a parody of a Smurfs song. Do you remember?
No.
And it goes, do you remember the Smurfs? Was it Captain Abraham or something?
Yeah, I remember.
Father
Yeah,
Abraham.
Father Abraham. Yeah.
And the parody version went like this: "Where are you all coming from?" Remember?
Yes.
"We're from Catford, ain't we? Eh?" That was the. And so
Know that one? I'm going to have to Google that.
yeah, it's either Catford or Deptford. I can't remember. I think it's Catford. But all these place names that are so powerful for a whole range of reasons. Caerphilly, of course, sounding so like carefully that you imagine yourself using it as a pun, but you can't actually get the joke yet. You haven't written the joke yet. And it's Catford, isn't there?
Catford.
And there's a place in Berkshire called Rathsbury, which everybody calls Raspberry,
Right.
which is nice, isn't it? A nice diminution. I went to a garden fete once at the home of Mrs. Whiteways, who inherited the Whiteways Cider Company and therefore had lots of money.
Oh, yeah.
She gave her little stately home at a place next to Feltham called the Minimax. Anyway, and they were raising money for something. And there was a stall, and it was a bucket of water, and at the bottom of the bucket of water was a sixpence. And you were invited to drop pennies into the bowl of water, into the pail of water, and see if you could cover the sixpence. And so everybody was dropping their pennies in the middle of the thing. And the girl, who seemed to me like Audrey Hepburn, but she was probably only about 14, she said to me, the trick is to drop it down the side of the bucket. And then it slides down the side and along the bottom. And it my next penny very nearly covered the sixpence. And she went, oh, that is so close. And I went, oh, well, never mind. And I walked away. And 2 minutes later, she found me and caught me up. She said, I had a word with Mother, and we've decided that you got so close to winning the sixpence, we're going to give you the sixpence. Oh, everything. First of all, I had a tanner mate. But secondly, I believed in humanity.
Yeah.
I believed in justice.
Yeah.
And I believed that she might just run away to Eastbourne with me.
It's possible.
Didn't try,
No.
obviously. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Happy memories of a fete.
Yeah.
Garden fete, that is.
Garden fete. Strawberries and cream.
Yes.
Big urns of tea. Urns.
Urns. You used to get your tea on a intercity train out of the boiler, or at least they'd put a teacup in it, and then they'd use the boiler would have boiled with water.
Yeah.
And so they'd get it like that. It didn't bother with a kettle. And so you get this whoosh of steam. And I bought a cup of coffee one morning, 6 a.m. I went down to the front of the train with it. And I was just about to take the lid off and start on it. And the steward came rushing up to me. He said, stop! He said, don't drink it. You haven't drunk it yet, have you? Tell me you haven't drunk it yet. And I went, no, I haven't touched it. Oh, thank God for that, he said. They de-lime-scaled it overnight and they left the liquid in.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that would have been brown bread,
Yeah.
possibly.
So that would have been a proper buffet car.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Those days of propping up those little kind of like that ledge opposite the buffet car
Yes. Right at the very end.
on a Friday night.
On a Friday night, always.
Cans of beer.
Absolutely.
Fag smoke everywhere.
Let's get specific here. Stella Artois.
Glorious.
Glorious.
And now, all you can do, I mean, I've seen this slowly degenerate over the course of time because they got rid of the buffet cars. Then they had like a trolley. They used to go up and down. And when I was working in PR, Sloane Square in London, I always used to look forward to my Friday train home. I'd have 2 bottles of beer and a bag of Golden Wonder crisps. And that was great because the thing would wander up and down. So it was always a he. He'd push it down in one direction. I'd get my first bottle of beer with my crisps. And then by the time he'd come all the way back up, I'd get my second bottle of beer. Then they got rid of that. Yeah. And now we're forced to go to either an M&S food store. Well, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of M&S food, right? But it's expensive. Or like in Victoria on the concourse, they've got this quick stop thing where, they're charging you, I mean, like a ridiculous amount of money for a can of beer.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It is.
All of the magic's gone. Bring back the buffet car or the trolley.
How do you commute from Glastonbury to London and back again, Hayley?
Yeah, on Great Western we do have a little trolley dolly going up and
Great
down.
Western's
So you're just living in the wrong part of the world.
Yeah.
I might have to move.
Yeah, we're all right. All I would say is that it costs you an arm and a leg now. So even if you're having a cup of tea and a bag of crisps, you need to take out a second mortgage, So be careful what you wish for. But can I tell you, I was listening to your wonderful hour the other day, Tommy. Like, why not just give you a bit of promo?
Oh, nice.
And you were on the episode I was listening to was talking about parties and the fact that a party can just consist of 2 or 3 people. You don't need to have a party of 60. And the most recent lovely spontaneous party I had was on a train back from Paddington to where I am in the train station's called Castle Carey, my local one. And I got on the train, sat down as you do, and just a lovely stranger, sat down opposite me. And as you do, you have the small talk, don't you, of like, where you been, where do you live, where you going type thing. And it turned out he was a grad. He just recently come out of Exeter University, I think, because the train does go to Exeter after me. Got out his laptop and he said, oh, do you know what? I'm not doing this. He was meant to be writing a dissertation or something. And the trolley dolly came round and this young guy asked for a glass of wine. And the trolley dolly said, well, if you buy two, it's, you get so much off. I think 2 glasses or little bottles of wine, those little tiny bottles you get 2 for a tenner. And this stranger said to me, oh, if we go halves, do you want a glass of wine? And I didn't intend to, but I said, yeah, do you know what? Let's go for it. So I gave him a £5 and we had a little bottle of wine each. And then we started to have what I would call a little mini party for the next hour. Just me and this random guy. I don't even think I got his name. And we just put the worlds to right and had a little bit of a mini celebration on our train home, respectively. And it was one of those little parties that actually, I think it's the last time I fully just didn't have a care in the world. Yeah, it was just glorious. So there's my little bit of a wonderful hour for you. I know I've gone off on a tangent, but there you go. 2 for the price of 1 on this podcast. We've done a wonderful hour and a rambling retro nonsense in one.
Brilliant, Hayley. I really enjoyed listening to that. And that's just about it for this episode. Duncan, I know you're good at a great many things, including giving out our contact details.
We're on YouTube. If you are listening on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Really, really helpful if you do that. Also on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, whatever the platform, please rate, review, share, subscribe, and help spread the word of this pod, which is called The Rambling Retro Nonsense. And if you'd like to get involved, 2 ways you can do that. You can WhatsApp us your thoughts and voice notes, 07405 341 500, 07405 341 500. Anything a bit lengthier, maybe email is better. And the email address is ramblingretrononsense, all one word, @gmail.com.
Till the next time.